But almost the New Year's, and I am joined by the wonderful Alfred Wrigley. I don't actually know what you want to be
What an
called.
introduction.
What do you want to be called? Like Alfred
Just
Wrigley?
Alfred. Alfred is
Alfred.
fine.
Alfred. I will be your Batman today, and we are just about to get into picks and bans. Here we are. So let's have a look to see who is being banned out here. Zed already banned out from the side of TTS. That is Team Taylor Swift, as much as I don't really want to say that. And on the red side, we have TDAI, the Dragon Age Inquisition, naming themselves after what is an incredible game, as far as I know.
I was expecting to see the Thresh ban. And it's just the T1 supports. They're trying to whittle out, so it would leave Janna and Leona as double supports to be picked up, seeing as there's a Thresh ban. And I think the Zed ban kind of derives from the assassin meta in the mid lane. I personally feel he is the strongest assassin, so he's definitely worth a ban.
Especially with 4.21 and 4.20, the new patches that have come out, we've seen a fall off in the bans that you have to do every game these days. Like you don't have to ban out Kassadin as you used to have to do in Season 3. You don't have to ban out Maokai or the other tanky top laners or Ryze. And so it opens up quite a big field of bans really for people. They can say, well, let's ban out Assassins because we don't want to play against a bunch of Assassins. We see both LeBlanc and Zed being banned out here. And then Rek'Sai. Actually, Rek'Sai is probably the only ban that I would say basically you see in every game these days.
He's got the 70% win ratio in solo queue. I mean, that is a phenomenal figure.
Yeah.
And it shows that maybe he's a bit too strong and needs a couple of tweaks, because all kind of new champions are generally a bit strong.
Yeah, he is. I mean, she is. Especially with her ability to get so far across the map. She's got a lot of damage in the top lane, and if you run teleport as well, it just makes you an incredibly mobile champion. Speaking of mobility, Gnar, also one of those incredibly mobile top laners, with that leap can get into the middle of teamfights, and then, of course, in Mega Gnar form is exceptionally tanky. Not going to see him play today. Who do you think the final ban... I was going to say who do you think it's going to be, but it's going to be Maokai.
I think is though, I personally feel Maokai and Gnar is a very common matchup. It's not too bad. I personally don't think at 4.21 Maokai is worthy of a ban, but he is one of those kind of enormous tanks with his passive. The sustain is just fantastic. In the team fight, he's going to have that passive proccing all the time. He's a colossal tank, and he can just flash, Twisted Advance onto a squishy, and that he's just got the engage and the tankiness that not many other tanks can really rival.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm going to be interested to see what we do see picked up here by Team Taylor Swift. There's quite a few champions still available, and of course, we asked the teams to order up in the order that they would be in the game. So it's top is at the top, and then jungle, mid, AD carry, support. Now, Mango versus ACS Half-Life. Is he going to pick that Riven as a first pick in top lane?
A Riven blind pick is just quite risky, really. You're just kind of asking for that Rise to be counterpicked.
But Ryze was nerfed a little bit recently. Of course, his Overload not doing quite as much damage. Still very strong against Riven in the top lane. With that Rune Prison can lock her up for quite a while. But, of course, Riven could go into the jungle if they decided to take her there. Not quite as strong as she used to be. We saw a lot of it, actually, in Season 2. But now we see more of the Warwicks, more of the Nocturnes, and even the Jarvans. It looks like it's going to be locked in here for Team Dragon Age Inquisition.
Well, picking up Jarvan it's a very strong T1 jungle. He has the mobility to make fantastic engages. He's very prominent in 4.21. A lot of people are actually picking him up now in solo queue because Cyanide made such a fantastic guide on him. It's actually top page of Reddit, so if you have any doubts about playing Jarvan, definitely check that out.
Yeah, Jarvan's so strong with his ability to get into the backline of an enemy team, and along with a Morgana who's got that black shield, it's going to be very difficult to stop him getting in there. A Lee Sin does help out a little bit with that. Of course, the Dragon's Rage kick can knock that Jarvan away, but as I said, Morgana, black shield, if you time that properly, it's going to be incredibly difficult to get that tank away from your backline.
With an Alistar, a quick pulverize Lee Sin kick. They're making the deterrence for Jarvan. They're making it harder for him to get into their front line. But I still feel Lee Sin is obviously an incredibly strong early game jungler, but he doesn't scale that well into the late game.
One thing we've actually seen a lot more from Lee Sin, something that was tried as soon as the jungle changes were made in 4.20, is taking that Poacher's Knife, which allows you to go into the enemy jungle and steal away buffs, reducing your smite time to half. Now, it fell off relatively quickly because of the popularity of the Rangers Trailblazer with that 45-second cooldown on smite. With that being nerfed in 4.21, do you think Poacher's Blade is going to make a resurgence because it's the only smite that actually has a reduced cooldown?
I feel Lee Sin is an incredibly gank-heavy champion, so I think he may keep the more kind of traditional get his Brutalizer into jungle item, but the Smite can give you the jungle control, but whether he'll need it against a Jarvan, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, one of the big problems with that is, of course, your jungle takes a bit longer to spawn these days. So you can pretty much, on any jungler, clear out your own jungle without having to worry that much about counter-jungling until about level 6, level 7, when you're trying to get a few more ganks and you're trying to put a bit more pressure down. Now, we see a very AD-heavy team coming out here from Team Dragon Inquisition? Team Dragon Age Inquisition. Do you think that we'll see an AP top laner, maybe a Lissandra picked up here?
I think an AP top would generally be a paramount kind of pick right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, armor can be stacked, and it will just purple team will have huge damage reductions, and I think it's just a necessity for scaling and team fights.
Oh, most definitely. The Lissandra wouldn't surprise me at all. She's very strong.
It's nice to see that Yasuo's not going to have to rely on his own knock up. He does have Jarvan there,
Yeah.
so that could make some nice plays. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It does. It definitely helps him out. Yasuo's who have to rely only on their own knock-up can struggle quite a bit of the time, especially against champions like a Vayne, like a Janna, and Ahri as well. Lee Sin and Riven, they all have relatively good mobility and can dodge out quite easily. Looks like it might be a Nasus in the top lane. Now, Nasus does a lot of damage, of course, but takes a while to get going. And if we see a couple of good ganks from Gankikus and Mango in that top lane, that Nasus could fall behind quite quickly.
I think it's yeah, no, there's
that
the
makes a
rise
lot
that
more
I was
sense. Yep.
talking about. It's going to be well, he is picking directly against Riven. It's just counter pick for the lane. Not sure how well it's going to scale into the team fight composition, but I feel that the Graves pickup was actually a pretty good pickup from Purple Team, because True Grit stacks are going to give Graves an extra bit of survivability, because they have a lot of assassination from Ahri, a Lee Sin Insec, a Riven combo. I feel that Graves was actually a fantastic pickup. He can use his dash out, and his True Grit will definitely give him that kind of more innate tankiness against such an aggressive and kind of burst blue team.
Oh, definitely, and we'll have to see how he combines with that Morgana in the bot lane. They want to put some early pressure down onto Vayne Janna, but of course Vayne Janna an incredibly safe lane, and unless we see better nerfs all coming in with some good ganks, they might struggle to get that early aggression down. Yold...
The Howling Gale can disrupt Jarvan's
Yeah.
combo, so I think Jarvan needs to time his combo correctly.
It's all about timing in that bot lane. We are into 3-minute spectator delay. We'll go to a short break, guys, and be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. Hello guys and welcome back. Sorry for that short delay, just need to grab a couple of glasses of water to get ourselves ready for this very exciting game here between Team Taylor Swift and Team Dragon Age Inquisition. We should be getting into the game just about now, and as soon as I say it we actually get into the loading screen, but we have a slight spectator bug, so it'll take us about 15 seconds before we're ready and raring to go with the action. I'm joined here by Alfred, my wonderful butler. What do you think about these two teams, Alfred?
Well, I'm already noticing the huge AoE comp revolving around Jarvan Cataclysm. The Desperate Power of Rise is going to be huge AoE damage. A Graves Buckshot collateral damage, and Morgana Spell Shackles. If they do cluster, they're going to be severely punished by that Jarvan. If he gets a nice Cataclysm, he can easily win his team, any team fight, and push on from there. Objectives, towers, whatever they want.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The only problem is going to be if Keke Spirit rushes out of it, or if we see Yold on that Vayne tumbling out and then popping his final hour, her final hour in fact, and
Janna may be
wailing
able
away.
to save her team with a good Monsoon, a good Howling Gale. I think the kind of anti-engage is going to be all up to Janna right now.
Most definitely. We see a little bit of early aggression coming out here from TDAI, Tadai. That's a great name, Tadai. The red team are going to push up towards the river a little bit. It looks like Fenix on this Janna will play safe, get a ward out quickly. Onogax is trying to get in for some early aggression, but not going to do much. Oh, he's going to spot out Fenix. And get a little bit of damage down, but nothing major.
Sorry, I was just taking off in-game sounds because I just realised they were up. Yeah, no, Yasuo are just scouting in, trying to get those wards down, the early vision. If they want to make a jungle invade, they're going to have to just go full-out fight. I mean, that ward will pick up Jarvan.
Yeah, well, we do just have the pause coming out. Sorry about that, guys. Of course, can't really play on if Gankicus. I will get it eventually. I keep when I first talked to Gankicus, the wonderful guy who organises all of these customs, or a lot of the customs. He was like, people can't usually pronounce my name, and I was like, well, isn't it just Gankicus? Like, it sounds really easy, but actually, when you try and say it over and over again, it becomes quite difficult.
Hang on, I just did it with my because I've got push to talk and I was trying to do it myself and I was like, oh, it is actually quite difficult.
I think it's the two cuss sounds quite close to each other. Gankicus, Gankicus.
Everyone's screaming frog and DDoS as the usual kind of Twitch community.
Yep, gotta have that DDoS going on. Early on in this game, I think a lot of the action is going to be focused either on the top lane when Mango's trying to try and get himself ahead, or of course on that bottom lane when you've got the Vayne Morgana combo. If you land a Dark Binding after level 2, Vayne Shin can just jump in there with the quick draw, get his buckshot off, and do a lot of damage. Gankicus says that he is back now. Wait, have you been gone for 3 minutes?
Yeah, I got blue screen.
Okay, he got blue screen. So what we'll do is we'll go to a quick delay once more as we wait for these guys to get into the game. I know you guys enjoy hearing my voice, but 3 minutes is ever so slightly too long for me to talk, so we'll be right back, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. Hello guys and welcome back. We should just about be ready to go. Our wonderful Master Overlord, Tom Villiers, also known as Gankikus, disconnected and has now decided to grace us once more with his presence. I'm Sona, I'm joined by Alfred, and here we are onto the Rift.
Well, it's interesting, Lee Sin's jungle path. It seems that he'll be starting from, probably have his first gank down bot lane or mid lane. I'm quite interested to see where he's going to go.
Yeah, it's an odd path, but not uncommon these days. You start off at the Gromp, you smite that down, you get the gift of the Toadstool, which gives you that AoE damage, and then rotate down towards your red buff. And of course, smiting your red buff, if you want to do it as your second rotation, gives you that life back, so you can sustain yourself a little bit more through the jungle. It looks like Better will be starting at his Gromp as well. So a symmetrical matchup here between the two junglers.
Yeah, no, it's probably just going to be the same kind of pathing, same probably gank. They probably have a gank mid first. Well, it really depends on if Yasuo's going to push up.
It definitely does, and we see Yold and Fenix actually taking away the Krugs for themselves. Now, these rocks give you almost half a level of experience on both of your bot lane champions, actually giving a little bit more of it across towards the Vayne. So she'll hit level 2 after about 3 minions in this wave, which will definitely help them out. But against the Graves and Morgana, who are going to push it up anyway, it means that they won't actually get too much of an experience gain, and have both taken quite a bit of damage for it.
I think it's the matchup is quite clearly Vayne's kind of inferior range is causing her to take considerable damage from Graves.
Yeah.
I think that's why this matchup isn't going too well for Vayne just yet.
It will. I think they can understand Yold and Fenix's mindset. They know they're going to lose the lane probably. They know it's a very difficult lane for them to play in anyway. So they just decided we'll take those Krugs, we'll try and get a little bit of experience where we can, and then perhaps be able to fight off Graves and Morgana when they go aggressive. But they are eating every single one of these bindings. Xiatian is how I'm going to pronounce that name, is on point with them at the moment. Graves
has managed to land every buckshot, hitting at least one person, and then following up for an auto after the binding. So Vayne's going to have to use her potion as soon as she can.
Yeah.
Well, she has. She's used it. I've got 3 seconds delay. You know, she's used her potion, whilst Graves is still able to hold on to his potion, and he's kind of drawing ahead a CS differential because she's having to focus so much on avoid being poked.
And I think that's what you expect out of this bot lane. Anyway, we see both junglers have already backed, both of them picking up that Stalker's Blade, so we'll be trying to get those aggressive ganks in with the smite. Of course, one of the risks with that is you give up the dragon control if you're smiting around around times when objectives are available.
Jarvan's going to walk through a ward though, so
look at this ward.
Riven's going to have a good warning knowing that he's going to come, so she's just going to back up, play a bit more defensive.
Yeah. The warning of Draven there in the top lane going to help her stay safe. Of course, those trinket wards, very useful in the early game, give you that vision. And Lee Sin, Gankikus coming for a gank in the bot lane.
Lee Sin's landed the resonating strike, going to get the second part of it. He knows that Graves has his E up, so he's just going to apply that red buff, get the autos onto Morgana, try and land another Q, being a bit greedy, hoping he's going to go on that. He might have got a bit of a Lee syndrome there and got in on that. But no, it's fantastic poke. He got as many autos as he could with that red buff, and as I predicted, he was going to get his first gank with that red buff, making full use of it. And moving into the enemy jungle shows that he's looking for a brawl, he's looking for a fight, because there's not really many junglers that can fight Lee Sin.
You know who else is looking for a fight? Better Enough Soul is looking for a fight in the mid lane.
No, it's going to get a flash immediately, but the flash into the charm, into the ignite, going to take a tower shot, but no, Yasuo's going to get the first blood. It was a good gank, but look, immediately into the top lane, there was the Rune Prism played incorrectly. Ryze is going to get the ignited, but is he going to go down to creep damage? Yes, he is. He walked into a creep wave, so the caster minion did actually take aggro and kill him, but Ryze played the Rune Prism wrong. He waited far too... he used the Rune Prism too early so that he could not stop Riven from using the other 2/3 of her Q to jump on top of him, locked him up with her stun, and there was generally nothing he could do going down to the ignite.
Yeah, and Team Taylor Swift will need to just shake off that early little bit of pressure that they've had. Actually getting, of course, the damage down onto Keke in the mid lane meant that Ognax picked up his first kill. He's gone for a Zeal first, which is quite often what we see on Yasuo. He'll be building towards that Static Shiv, of course. And then the early kill on Riven in the top lane. We talked about Mango. Can she be fruity in that lane and pick up a couple more kills against this Ryze?
It's just interesting to quickly see that Riven is starting to bar ahead of Ryze. This shouldn't generally happen this early into the game because this is when Ryze can bully a Riven the most. But it looks like Ryze is going back up into the top lane, bought himself a kind of menagerie of potions which he's going to, you know, chug on as he wishes. But immediately into the mid line, Ori's going to miss that charm. He's going to land the second half of his Steel Tempest, putting really good poke. He was able to wind wall Ori's Q, so he can block out a lot of her damage, which is a fantastic pickup against Ori, because if you're able to wind wall the charm, you're going to negate a lot of Ori's damage.
Gankakus is coming in for a gank here, but there is a Jarvan very sneaky around the corner.
Sorry, my
Oh, lots of damage going down. A little bit of a bug on your spectator. Bed Enough Soul is ignited, and Keke will just back away from that wind wall. Meanwhile, bot lane, actually a kill for Yod onto Vayne's Sin. The Graves has gone down. Very good aggression.
Into the Condemn. Fantastic Condemn there. Landing 2 crits. It's going to pick up Vayne the double kill. Sorry, my spectator just bugged out and I had to reconnect.
That's okay. No problem with that. We see Heartseeker Vayne finding the hearts of her enemies, picking up 2 kills in the bot lane. Has got very good aggression considering. I mean, you'd expect a Graves and Morgana to be able to win out that lane, but the flashes already burnt on them from that earlier gank meant that they weren't able to do much. And good early kills for Vayne.
The game is a bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
The Graves lane losing in the early game and Ryze losing to Riven in the early game is completely what we did not expect to happen. So this game is going to be a lot more unpredictable than we expected.
It will definitely be unpredictable. Apparently you are a little bit quiet, so I'm going to turn you up and make sure that you can be heard as well as I can. And while I do that, why don't you talk about what's happening on the screen?
It's fantastic warding here by Morgana. Morgana has got 2 deep wards. Sorry, wait, what time? I'm sorry, I'm on 750. I need to skip
756.
ahead,
Press J. J will get you up to speed with us.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I just missed the kill on Lee Sin. Sorry about that.
That's okay, I missed it as well, but Lee Sin goes down. Gankakus, not the king of ganks today. He goes down quicker than the Spartans did against the Greek army, of course. I don't know what, I was going somewhere
Spartans
with that
are
pun.
the Greek army, but okay.
Well, no, because there was the Spartans fought against the Greek army.
The Spartans fought the
There was
Persians.
the Battle of the 300, wasn't it? Oh, Persians! Persians, there we go.
See, that's why my classics degree is coming in handy.
What?
Leonidas fought Xerxes I in 490 BC.
There we go. Ask me something about medicine. I can do stuff about medicine. The only reason I missed the kill was because I was redoing our audio levels. I just want to say...
We could have talked about Hippocrates or something else.
Yeah.
If you know, we can get onto your kind of specialty.
Usually I can find the kills, but we did just have a little bit of a miss there. I apologise greatly. I'm sure we'll get more and more as I continue through this bottle of wine throughout the night. We do see Bed Enough Soul and Oganax actually going for this dragon
they're going to start
very
the
early
dragon
in the
there.
game.
They secured the Rift Scuttlers. That's going to give them a huge advantage. Using the wind wall, they can try and block some of the dragon's attack. They're just going to kite it really nicely so they can try and pick up that first dragon. And the first dragon is hugely important with those 6%. But immediately, a binding lands by Morgana. There's going to be a bit of aggression here. Exhaust going down. Graves has just hit 6, and Vayne has the ult coming up, so she's going to have a huge amount of kite potential with her passive. It looks like there's going to be 4-man in the bot lane. It seems that Jarvan and Yasuo are coming, but the collateral damage takes it down. Ori's roaming top. Ori gets a charm straight into Ryze. Ryze cannot do anything. He stands there helplessly. As the charm does do 15% more damage, Ori could land her full combo, and then that still meant that Riven was susceptible to using all her CC onto Ryze. For Ryze stood no chance at all.
4 kills to 3 in favour of Team Taylor Swift at the moment. They are swiftly moving through this game. However, they do lose out on that tower in the bot lane, and of course that early dragon as well, going across towards Team Dragon Age Inquisition. Means that they've got a little bit of extra gold on the map at the moment, but gold can be picked up from anywhere. Gankakus is going to lose his red buff.
It was a fantastic rotation to pick up the dragon and a tower, and this early in the game is going to give a huge power spike. Looks like Vayne's going to get a really nice condemn onto Bed Enough Soul. Lee Sin's going in, he's got the other half of his Q, he's going to go, he's going to try and focus Morgana. No, he's not, he's going to change targets onto Yasuo. Yasuo's going to flash straight out of that Cataclysm. He did look like he was in a precarious situation, but Vayne has her ult up and her passive. She's going to change these down. The charm lands, she's going to keep chasing. Jarvan's not sure why he's going to go back in.
Oh,
does have Ryze coming in. Ryze has used Desperate Power, fantastic damage coming down. The AoE, they were stacked in that Tribush. Yasuo is going to try and kite back in using his E, he's going to glide in. But it seems that Rise is going to get the Rune Prism. Using his passive, he's going to just keep getting cooldown reduction after cooldown reduction. He landed at least 4 Qs, power surges. He was landing his E. He was having so much cooldown reduction by being able to have so much to use his spells on that he's able to pick up a triple kill, which is going to put him into a huge gold advantage to his lane opponent.
Rise, truly the machine gun mage as he came down with that teleport from top lane. Nice communication there with Team Dragon Age Inquisition as well. They got a lot of damage down, and then Rise was able to flank from the back after we saw Keke trying to get into that position on his Ahri as well. And of course, no teleport on Mango in the top lane meant that she wasn't able to join the fight either on that Riven, and wasn't able to do anything. I think if there'd been a Riven there, it would have been a very different fight.
I also feel if Lee Sin did have that dragon kick, the fight would be hugely in their favour. He could have kicked Rise in there. Looks like Jarvan's going to get spotted up by Ward, but he's going to keep fighting. Riven, I'm pretty sure, can kill him, but he's just going to flag out. She still has her ult. She flashes onto Rise, uses the Wind Slash. Lee Sin's going to safeguard on and pick up Lee Sin. Sorry, it's going to pick up Rise, which was very nice. The flash has been burnt in the top lane, so Jarvan can root round. Seems she's going to use the Dragon Kick to try and get Yasuo out of there. A fantastic damage there by Ahri, taking down both of them. Her roam top was instrumental in that play being made. Otherwise, Jarvan, Rise and Yasuo would have picked himself up a easy amount of kills. The Charm landing facilitated this fantastic 3 kills to be picked up in the top lane. So, pretty well done to Ahri there.
Yeah, very well done by her, and good basing as well from Mango and Gankikus. They stayed around. Gankikus actually safeguarding away on a sliver of HP, manages to keep himself alive, and they get a very good trade in that top lane. I feel that Half-Life on that Rise was a little bit over-aggressive, a little bit not cautious enough, thinking, oh, I've just picked up 3 kills, I can fight this. Didn't realise there was still Ignite, there was still that Wind Slash as well onto Riven, and she absolutely burst him down completely.
She is now 4-0 and sitting on a 12-minute Hydra, which is a huge power spike for this early in the game.
Absolutely massive, and only the Glacial Shroud being picked up on that Rise means that he needs to be very, very careful. Of course, building towards that frozen half.
So kill in the middle lane. Yasuo was just... He had the wave in his favour. He was able to glide across those minions, stacking his Q as he could. Looks like Lee Sin's going to miss his Q. Fantastic Monsoon. He's going to try and Black Shield out. Soul Shackles, he's going to actually try and turn the fight, but he's so low, I don't think he has the health to stop this. If the Q lands, he's going to get that kill. It lands. Fantastic. He safeguards that, but he doesn't want just 1 kill. He's going back in. He smited Graves so he could have that slow on him. Graves wasn't going anywhere because his E was down, but that rotation is going to cost them the mid tower.
Yeah, they do lose out on that mid tower. Second tower of the game going down to Team Dragon Age Inquisition. Very good at picking up those global objectives, but at the moment 3 kills behind, and Gankikus showing his greed on Lee Sin there. He was like, oh, Yod could pick up this kill. No! Smite Dragon's Rage. I'm going to get it.
Jarvan's moving into the top lane. A nice EQ combo. He is going to Cataclysm, but she's simply just going to Q over it. So that was a shame that Yasuo wasn't in range, as he does have his ultimate. He could have ultied off it, but Riven's kit is just so agile, she's able just to throw herself out of that Cataclysm. But I could see a tower dive. She's just going to simply Wind Slash the wave to try and hope that she can save her tower. Fantastic play, dodging the EQ combo, but she's going to get locked up. She's actually going to get a kill, which was unsuspected, but she got a fantastic stun and the knock up from her Q, getting those tower shots raining down on the tower divers that were besieging her. The belligerents did fail in their endeavours, as they did lose 1, and Rise nearly went down, which nearly turned a 3-man tower dive into a 2-for-1.
Yeah, probably wasn't the best idea tower diving a Riven. You have to remember she always has that key strike available. She can always stun you, and it's an AoE stun as well. It's not just going to hit one person. So they were a little bit over aggressive there. I think they wanted the tower, and you've seen how much they value global objectives thus far in the game. Ooh, Fenix just missing out.
If that binding landed, that would have been a dead Janna, I'm afraid. Well, maybe not. Ahri was waiting in the wings. They're going to get the speed boost from the Rift Scuttler, and they're going to get the hell out of there. They could try and turn around. They have Yasuo closing in, but they don't know the wards. They don't have enough vision to know where all the team is. So they're just hoping to get a pick. They don't know where the rest of the team is.
Yeah, especially with Mango here on this Riven. It's so aggressive. Can do a lot of damage
there.
As well.
That Howling Gale stops Morgana from getting away, but she's just going to blow her flash. But
mid lane though, Ognax on Keke.
Very well played by Janna. Yasuo is starting to dominate the mid lane now. He's getting so many kills. The dragon's up, so this is going to be a point of contention. Yeah, the dragon's going down. Vayne's immediately going to ult. She's going to get the Condemn, and on a manhunt, going to take Jarvan. Those silver bolts wrecking up the true damage onto him, doing really big damage. She's just going to chase him down, get a Condemn into the wall, and he's going to have to burn his flash and EQ out.
Vayne needs to be a little bit careful with Yasuo here around the corner, but he'll have to back away with the Janna Vayne coming up very quickly towards him. Blade the Ruin King finished. Ooh, Wind Slash missing to the side. Mango wants to be aggressive here under the tower.
He's going to make a play, get that kill on Jarvan, but that was a fantastic Monsoon from Janna.
Oh, wow.
Yasuo managed to get the Steel Tempest off there, which, sorry, I was very dubious to see that. Ryze is going to get the top tower, though, so it's going to give it a tower back to the blue team, which is desperately needed, as purple team already have 3. But it looks like Ori's in a bit of a bobber now, hitting the charm onto Graves. Graves is going to get that Black Shield, get him out of that little predicament that he's facing. He could have tried to E from it, but I think he was saving it to go for a play.
Yep, definitely saving that quick draw. One of the funny things about that little mid lane fight there actually was the Condemn from Vayne knocked Yasuo back behind his wind wall and meant that Vayne was no longer doing any damage to him. So he was able to get that Steel Tempest into Last Breath combo off and actually just totally destroy the Vayne. It was a little bit of a play that you think is fine at the time. It's like, oh yeah, I'll condemn him backwards, but actually ended up costing Vayne his life.
Yasuo put on the blue suede shoes there and put on the fancy footwork. Fantastic play by him. Mechanically, a very astute move. I really was not expecting that play to come out. It was a pleasure to watch.
It's definitely a very good play. We see the Frozen Heart picked up on the top lane, but look at Riven's build. 7-1 with the most CS in the game. It's got a Ravenous, a Brutalizer, and also those Ionian cooldown boots. It's going to be so difficult to face up against her, and it's all down to Xia Tian on that Morgana. Can she Black Shield people as they're about to be stunned? Can we see Better Nerf Sword coming in for that extra knock? Keke is going to be the target.
Cataclysm, that fantastic play there. The Cataclysm is actually not going to get killed, but the Smite is. Gankius is able to safeguard out. Looks like the Ignite might bring him down. Yasuo is, yep, there we go.
Here comes Riven.
Bring him down. Riven's coming in. She's 7-1. Remember how much damage she's going to get. Bonus from her ult. She's flashing onto Jarvan, but she's just going to get kited by Jarvan. Is she going to get out? I think she will.
Here comes
the Lucidity boots, whilst her lane opponent only has the T1, but she's going to get out.
Graves! Collateral damage!
Sorry, that was a lot of damage there. Fantastic binding, just picking off the pieces. Right now, this huge amount of skirmishing is making it very hard to tell what the general direction of the game is, but it's so close. It's only 1,200 gold putting the two teams apart.
Okay, I just want to point out, Vayne Xin here on the Graves came from just about here, and then sniped Riven across the wall with collateral damage to pick up the kill. It was wonderfully done, and really good communication by his team, because she was in the fog of war at the time, so they had to say she's probably just about here, and he was able to pick her off.
They're going to start sweeping out the Vision on their home return. They're probably going to back off this. They've got a lot of gold in their pockets now. They're just going to try and clear out the Vision and start prepping for their next back. They're going to probably get the Rift Scuttler so they can have the River Vision, just slowly start edging themselves in, win the Vision war, and from there they can try and get their lead.
Yeah, definitely. The problem, of course, for Team Taylor Swift at the moment is they only have that Riven fed. She's the only one on the team who's really ahead, apart from perhaps Vayne, who hasn't been doing a huge amount in teamfights. There is a fight in mid lane.
He's going to Spirit Rush out, going to get Charm onto Jarvan, disrupting the combo. Jarvan didn't have Cataclysm. It's up in about 20 seconds. She's going to walk past a ward, so they're going to know when she's backing. The wave's going to push up, so she's actually going to stay and take it, but she was lucky that she had Spirit Rush up. She didn't have Flash, so she would have surely died. She does not have the vision to back so openly in the mid lane, whilst there's pink wards in both sides of the river for purple team, which is a security which blue team needs to start securing because they can start burning ults and flashes because they have superior vision.
Definitely can, and we see a bit of another vision fight here. Yod to the side. Ognax is going to be the target.
Gankius is going to come straight in. He's going to do a lovely insect kick there. Going to stun him up with a Condemn. Vayne is going to have to pop her ult there. She's going to start chasing down Morgana. Morgana's just going to land that very safe dot binding. Wasn't on. She didn't have Tumble to try and juke her. Vayne's going to try and keep chasing onto Jarvan. The Condemn wasn't really in her favour. They are going to get the speed boost from the the crab, but Jarvan's going back in. He did Cataclysm, but he was Monsooned out. If he was not Monsooned out, he would have died. So not necessarily the best play by Janna. Fantastic pickup here. Ryze is using Desperate Power and using all his kit onto a group with 3 people stacked, so he's going to do some huge AoE damage. Graves is going to pick them off with Buckshot there. Riven's going to go down, and Riven is 8-3. Riven is the powerhouse of the blue team. Fantastic Rune Prism flash there, and then knocked into the flag combo by Jarvan. They're going to pick up a huge amount of gold in their favour, taking 4 for 1, and it was only a support that died, which is huge.
Yeah, the prolonged spread out teamfights seem to be favouring Team Dragon Age at the moment. They're just allowing themselves to position around Riven. If Mango can't get into a position where she's getting 3 people in that stun or getting a lot of damage off with her Wind Slash, she's very, very useless, and she's just not quite being able to position herself in these fights at the moment. And they have great pick potential with the Dark Binding and the Demacian standard combination coming out from Jarvan, and of course that Cataclysm helping him out a huge amount. He actually did a great 3-man Cataclysm into Flash away to pick up Gankikus in that last fight, which was really nicely done. And with Dragon coming up again, we have to expect another team fight soon.
It was a shame that Janna monsooned out Jarvan, because he then re-initiated and got 3 assists. If that monsoon was just used a second later, they would have got the kill on Jarvan, and I think that fight would have gone a lot more in their favour.
Yeah, but with double Infinity Edge picked up on the side of Team Dragon Age, you have to expect them to take objectives very quickly. Teleport's still up on Half-Life means that he can go and split push a little bit, a luxury that Mango doesn't have at the moment. She has to stay with her team on that Riven, otherwise they're going to give up those global objectives.
Securing the Rift Scuttler right now is of huge importance. The speed boost and the kite potential that it gives you outside the Dragon Pit is almost invaluable in fighting for a dragon.
It looks like Team Taylor Swift might take this tower down. They didn't mean to break the walls, but they do go in with their Wrecking Ball, which I know is a Miley Cyrus song. It's the only reference I can think of.
Fantastic pick here, but that Dark Binding is going to miss, but the Black Shield is going to remove some of the effectiveness of Gankius' combo. However, she's going to walk out slightly unscathed, but this is going to mean that they can move straight onto the dragon, because they cannot risk to fight the 5-man team whilst the purple team is looking so scattered. Ryze is in the top lane. Ryze did have his TP, didn't come down. Morgana was low, had to back, so that was a fairly kind of easy and coherent dragon pickup, but I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to get off the back of this.
It looks like they might be able to get a tower in the top lane for the side of Team Dragon Age. Ryze, not the best at taking down towers, but can push relatively easily, of course, with his spam ability of his spells. He will get that tower. He's still 50 CS behind his lane opponent, though, and we talk about it time and again, that Riven, very big at the moment. But then look at Ognax on that Yasuo as well. Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, 170 CS, and he's 8-3 as well, with a few assists under his belt.
Looks like a really good bait here. Jarvan's going to miss his flag combo and fails to Cataclysm. She still had 2 more Spirit Rushes, but it was a fantastic bait by Yasuo, thinking Ori could just, luring her into a false sense of security, and Jarvan was just waiting in the wings. They didn't have the vision, and I think that the purple team is quite aware that blue team are kind of failing the vision wall and kind of taking advantage of this.
Well, blue team have great vision around this dragon, but that was only after they won that fight. They were able to get some deeper wards in and put a little bit more pressure down, but as you say, across the board, we have seen a lot more pressure coming in from Team Dragon Age with that warding, and just with getting those pink wards down as well to deny the enemy vision. No Oracle's lens is picked up by them yet, though, and 2 sweepers already on the side of Team Taylor Swift. They'll be sweeping out as much as they can. I
am surprised to see so many warding trinkets in one team. 5 warding trinkets at 24 minutes is quite unheard of, but they are winning the vision war, and it's getting them picks, so it's working well. But I think they should start transitioning into the sweepers. Usually have the one mandatory Farsight Orb, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Farsight Orb on the AD carry usually, just to stop those face checks. And it does just give you that little bit of extra vision. Usually we see it picked up around the 20 to 25 minute mark, just to get yourself a little bit more pressure. Yumu's has been picked up though on the Graves. Xiatian, nice!
Looks like it's going to be a flash in by Lee Sin. He's going to get Rune Prismed immediately. He's going to safeguard out. they made the pick because Graves hasn't come to the fight. Morgana's going to drop down. That is a huge amount of CC and anti-siege that's going to come. The fear of a Dark Binding and a Soul Shackles and a Black Shield is going to be a deterrent, but now that's not there. They're going to start knocking on that tower's door. Ori is waiting in the lines. Jarvan's going to come flying in with the Cataclysm. Fantastic Monsoon. The collateral damage smacking Lee Sin in the face. Lee Sin's going to drop down. Riven's going to go down to Graves too. They're going to start chasing down onto Yol. Yol's going to try and get out there, but it looks like Jarvan is going to keep chasing. No, he's not. He's going to pull back. But it was a fantastic Monsoon by Janna there.
Yeah, it was. Just managed to disengage really well. We do see Gankus being taken down.
Really good through Prism onto Vayne, but Vayne's not... Sorry, I thought Vayne was going to get out. Good damage by Ori. The charm does land. That's the 15% bonus AP damage there, so she could do a good amount of damage if she was going to go back in. But it looks like they're just going to keep pushing up the mid lane and see where they can go from there. It's not really a system of rotations, more just skirmish in the mid lane and see what they can get out of it right now, but it seems to be going into the favour of the purple team that have pulled 3k into the lead.
Yeah, Jia Qian did have a little bit of a struggle at the start of that fight, kind of engaged without the rest of her team. Vayne Sin on the Graves was off towards the side, didn't really have the time or the ability to get into the team fight, and so that Morgana was left to dive at the front line. She was not victorious in that fight, but her team did manage to come out at the end with a couple of kills. Mango going a little bit deep under the tower, gave another kill across towards Team Dragon Age, and bit by bit they're taking their advantages. 2,000 gold in the lead, a couple of towers ahead as well, and 23 kills to 20. It's a very close game.
That more of Malmorti's pick up on Riven, I feel, will be incredibly useful for her. It's going to be that anti kind of burst which the purple team are relying on now, and it will give her kind of not more tankiness, but just that safety buffer. So if she does step out of line, it's not going to punish her too badly.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially since a lot of the damage on the side of Team Dragon Age is coming out from both Yasuo and Ryze at the moment. Graves comes in usually near the end of a team fight with a collateral damage or something, just to get a little bit of extra coming out, but at the moment you need to be fearful of Ryze, you need to be fearful of Yasuo. He has got a project on his mind at the moment, and the project is to kill his enemies.
That was a freak kind of pun there. Yes. They're going to walk over at that ward in the bush there, so they are going to be spotted out. I'm not sure if they know it's warded. The ward's about to expire, so if they are nearby, they will know it's warded. But they're just going to kind of wait around, look for a pick.
They know
bush is also warded, so she's going to Spirit Rush in. Fantastic play by there. That was a Jarvan EQ combo into a Yasuo ult. The Cataclysm is going to go down, but he's going to immediately cancel it. Mango's going far too deep. That more of Malmortis is not going to keep her up. The Monsoon was deterring their deaths for a second. Morgana's going to be the sacrificial lamb, trying to save her friend Lee Sin. Lee Sin's going to get picked up by Yasuo. Yasuo's got the Black Shield, so he didn't have to worry too much about the turret knocking on him, and they're going to take the tower from that fantastic rotation and ace.
Yeah, a great little ace there by Team Dragon Age. Gankus was ever so slightly too eager. He Sonic waved just a second too early, and it meant that the Spirit Rush charm didn't connect onto Onagax, and then the rest of his team was able to follow up. A great knock-up by Better Nerf Soul across the wall meant that Keke Ahri was locked out of the teamfight straight away, as was Gankus. They just weren't really able to do anything with the cleanup. Team Taylor Swift down at the bottom of the charts at the moment, only 28 kills to 20 for them, and 5 towers to 2 now as well. That mid lane tower gives you so much objective control. With Dragon up in just a second, you have to expect Team Dragon Age to try and contest for their ancestors.
I think it was also interesting that Red Team's greed, I think they should have backed quicker and started prepping for that Dragon. They've given the chance for the blue team to actually get in the face of Dragon. They tried to take the Grom, they tried to take... Oh, we've actually got a DC there, so I'm expecting the game to be paused now. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
As I was saying, was they took the jungle instead of preparing for the Dragon, and I feel that they should have gone for the Dragon. The Dragon in 4.21 is such a significant objective.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they decided to go for Gromp, but I think it's just the fact that they wanted to deny the other team as much as they could. But it's actually they've given them an inch and they've taken a mile, because now they're starting to get ward in the Dragon Pit. They can contest it.
Yeah, they definitely can, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Dragon coming out very quickly here from Team Dragon Age. They've got a lot of pressure. They've got a lot of kills under their belts at the moment. Double Randuin's has been picked up for them. They've still got a BF sword being completed on that Graves as well, and almost it looks like a Zhonya is coming out from Half-Life, so he's just going all out armor as much as he can with that little bit of extra AP under his belt. I mean, there's lots of chances here for Team Taylor Swift to get back into it, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to do it with the late game scaling that's coming out from Team Dragon Age.
That tier will be completed soon. They'll scale into the Archangels. With the Zhonyas, Rise is going to have a huge amount of damage. I'm looking forward to seeing how he scales into the late game. He will be the monster that he usually is, and if there is a nice Cataclysm, it will spell disaster for the blue team.
It definitely will. Hopefully this pause will be done relatively soon. I'm just looking up names of Taylor Swift songs so we can get some good puns in. So, Blank Space, I Knew You Were Trouble, We Are Never Getting Back Together, 22. Okay, I'm sure we can get some good ones out of these. Be fine.
Janna is peeling for her team incredibly well. She has that Mikhails for her carries, and she is monsooning I'd say pretty well. She is providing a lot of safety to her team. She is that safety buffer that a team needs, and I'm just wondering on how they can engage. They don't really have an engage. They generally, unfortunately, have to rely on the red team engaging on them, because apart from an Insect or a Flash Riven engage, they do not have much, which means that they're immediately going to be put on the back foot, because if they allow red team to engage, it's going to be Jarvan with a black shield coming in and ulting a Squishy, and unless Flash is up, it means that red team are automatically going to have the advantage.
Yeah, it's what we talked about from Champ Select, really. The AoE fight potential coming out from Team Dragon Age is incredibly strong, and it's going to be very difficult, especially now they've fallen a little bit behind, for Team Taylor Swift to get it back together. In fact, you might even say they are never ever getting back together, and that's going to be very difficult.
Well, the game's going to be resumed now.
There we are, the game is back.
Sorry, fantastic return damage from Ahri. Nice Spirit Rush. Yasuo's not going to be able to stop it. There's going to be a huge amount of damage put onto Janna. Janna is so squishy at this point in the game, there's not much she can do. Graves managing to pick off his enemy laner with his ult, getting himself that 300 gold, just stop building himself a lead. The kill kind of disparity is going to start putting gold into the advantage of red team, putting money in their pocket. They are going to seize this dragon, which is going to be pretty much uncontestable unless Lee Sin just wasn't there. And even if he did, he probably would not have got it. There was so much CC waiting for him, he probably would have also been out of smite range.
Yeah. With Beth Nerf's all being 2 levels up on him as well, they've got a little bit of extra damage on that smite. Gankius needs to be careful.
He's going to just immediately kick him out, and the I'm not sure why that he wanted that camp so much that he had to burn his flash for it.
You've got to get the
I
cross.
thought he would have just walked out calm and collectively, went back in, which probably wasn't the wisest of decisions. He's going to have to blow his flash, so that kind of insect kind of capability is going to be down for 5 minutes, and it does give them a huge amount of kind of aggression, knowing that Lee Sin can make that play.
Most definitely. The problem now for Team Taylor Swift is there's too many people on the enemy team that can do a lot of damage. Mango is here in the mid lane.
Not sure Jarvan had the support which he needed to play so aggressively. He went in just only with his own shield. It looks like they're going to try and return the damage. Fantastic wind wall for the time being. It did block the charm, but they're going to get an ult onto Ahri. Ahri's going to go down. The exhaust goes onto Yasuo. That's going to dodge hit. Sorry, that's going to lower his damage by 40%, but that does not make a difference. He's going to plow through onto Riven. They're going to start knocking on this turret, and looks like they may be able to get it. There is not much they can do with Ahri and Riven dead. Gankius is going to get rune prisoned. Very well played by Graves. There is not much they can do. Vayne is desperately trying to fight them off. Looks like a fantastic Monsoon isn't going to actually do anything because the Black Shield was on Yasuo, and for that play they're going to just take the inhib and they're probably going to walk out. No, they're going to push forward.
Go for it.
It is an ace. The timers are that they can just take those towers, knock through. I don't think there's much that the blue team can do in response.
Look at Keke, he gets destroyed. There is a blank space where that RE once was. They're going to push towards this Nexus tower. Should be able to get that one down. I don't think they'll get the Nexus here with Mango and Gankikus back up though.
Yasuo's going to make a last-ditch effort. He doesn't think he's going to get out of the space, but whoa.
Yep. Okay.
Yasuo
He doesn't need to get out of his base because he's made a home here in the side of Team Taylor Swift's base.
New home. He is enormous.
Yeah, he is absolutely massive. The win will go across to Team Dragon Age, the team that we all really wanted to win, because Taylor Swift we always knew she was
Taylor
trouble.
Swift.
We always knew she was trouble since she came in, and now we see Team Dragon Age taking the win. Guys, I've been Sona, my co-cast has been Alfred, the lovely, the wonderful, the magnificent. We've been casting the first game of the UK LOL Customs, LOL UK Customs in fact. Hope you enjoyed watching it, and we'll be right back with the next game.